have done a lot. We own ABC Wellness and Fitness Centers located in Waldorf, Maryland. ABC stands for Anointed Body of Christ. When we did the name, they asked us, was we crazy? And I said, we must be, but this is what God laid on our heart, and this is what the name is going to be. And it actually, this is deviating a little bit. When we went to the SBA, they were like, are you sure this is going to stray away a certain market? You know, people to patronize your business. I said, I'm sorry. When they come, we may talk about some scriptures, we'll talk about Christ, we're going to hear some gospel music. We're not turning anybody away, but this is who we are, and this is who we serve. And if they come in here, that's what they're going to get. So, being in business full-time, actually our 6-year mark, 5 years in our current location. So God is good. We did it because my husband was going through a lot on his job. God kept saying, do this, do this, do this full-time. We were doing it part-time. We said, God, I just had a baby. That ain't going to happen. I got another little toddler in diapers. You must be crazy. But God made it really tough for him on his job. He got high blood pressure. It got to the point they was trying to find a reason to terminate him. Finally, they couldn't find a reason to terminate him, so they just said, what the heck, you're fired. So he came home with all this stuff. We tried to get unemployment through DC. He couldn't get unemployment. So it was like, okay, what are we going to do? We have only one income coming into the household. Now I'm like, okay, ABC Wellness and Fitness Center, pack this stuff in the truck. Let's make it work. So we go to people's houses. We would do it out of the comfort of their home. About 4 or 5 months after that, we wound up having about 500 square feet. One of our customers, I'm like, I don't like deviating and mixing and mingle with other folks. But we wound up having our facility in a neck, back, and spine injury practice. We did that for about 5 or 6 months. And then we got our current location. We had about 2,500 square feet. And then we wanted the other side too, because we were doing our boot camps and stuff all in the hallway and stuff. And he was like, I want to build out this other side because they're asking us about this other side and we got to get this building filled. And he agreed to go ahead and build out the other side. We didn't pay him nothing to build it out. It was just a cement slab in there, and he built it out for us at no charge. So when we talk about God being good, you have to walk in that thing.
That's right.
And I don't believe that he would have put us out there if it wasn't intended. So all the accolades you hear about all the things, that's from the business. I wouldn't have done the Black Enterprise or anything if it hadn't been for us stepping out on faith. Well, he actually pushed us out on faith. Because I wasn't stepping nowhere. But he pushed us out there. So we're going to stand up and just want to stop. We're going to stand up. I didn't know about this. Then you're going to close your eyes. Don't go to sleep. That's why I got y'all standing up. Close your eyes. Who ever seen the Wizard of Oz? We're going to tap our heels 3 times. Okay, so close your eyes and you're going to repeat after me. Close your eyes and you're going to tap once. Tap. I want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy.
Tap it again. I want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy.
Tap it again. I want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy.
Now open up your eyes and share with me how much weight you lost. Share with me what sicknesses you no longer have. Nobody don't have any faith. Okay, that's what we do when it comes to wellness and fitness. We think we want to top our heels 3 times. And that's going to be it. It ain't going to happen. It requires a little bit of work, right? Amen. So y'all can take your seats. So your current situation is not your final destination, right? Your current situation is not your final destination. Your health is very important. How many minutes is it in a week? Take a while. I know y'all got some phones out there. 60 minutes. I'm sorry. It's 10,080 in a week. So you can give yourself 180 minutes out of the week. 180 minutes. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. This is less time that it takes us to get our hair done, nails done, feet done. The amount of time it takes for you to park closer to the mall so you don't have to walk that far. You know how you drive around about 10 times looking for that parking space right in front of the mall? Because you don't want to walk too far. And don't let it be about 5 or 6 spaces back. You're going to drive around again because you want that first and second spot by the mall. This is time, right? That's about 15 minutes you spend driving around looking for that close spot, right? So now we're going to add up all this time. go to yourself in a week, right? To work out. It's not that hard, but we make it complicated. We want to top our heels 3 times, and we think that it's going to be a done deal. So when we talk about ourselves, our body is a temple. It's the one thing that we come on this earth with, and it's the one thing on this earth we leave. You don't leave with the house. Well, you can put the keys in a coffin if you want to, but you don't leave with any of these clothes on back. You may take it with you, but they're going to soon deteriorate in that coffin along with you. So this is the one thing we come on this earth with, and the one thing that we're going to leave this earth with. Guaranteed. You can't unzip it and say, give me another one. You can't flip it, can't switch it. So when we talk about these things, we have to start finding out what our why is. When I went through some situations, like my husband being unemployed, and then I had another situation a couple of years ago. I was in the military. I have about 23 years. I know I look like I'm 19, right? I went through a situation with the military. I was due to be promoted to major. Didn't get it. I was a 2-time non-select. When you become a 2-time non-select, it's an automatic discharge from the military. So I was discharged from the military. Did not want to give up that good paying job. They don't tax the money that much. So you know you make $5,000 and then you bring home $1,700 after taxes and bargain. You be like, who is Social Security? I don't know who they are. But all of that stuff, by the time it come out your check, you're not bringing home that much money. I mean, the benefits are good, but it's still coming out of your paycheck. But with the military, they don't tax it that much. So I was bringing home the bulk of my money. Then, God has a funny way of doing things. After I got out, I found out that I got promoted to major. What sense does that make? So, after that situation, once again, we have a business. People think that we got money out of the wazoo whenever you have a business, and that's not the case. Because as a startup, you got a lot of expenses that you're dealing with, especially with this having a fitness center. We got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment in our facility that we have to pay for. So this happened, and then my ex-commander, she wanted to bring me on board as a contractor. I was making 6 figures, quickly went to about $45K. What the heck am I going to do with $45K? So the bill collectors called me like, I know I owe you a credit card, but it ain't putting nothing on my table. It's closed anyways. So I got to maintain right now. The main 5 things I'm worried about is gas in the car, because I got to get to this $45,000 job that I got. I got to try to get my mortgage modified because I got to stay in this house. And then I'm like, Mom, you plan B in case I got to come and live with you in your apartment. Keep the room available. And then the other thing I had to make sure was the electric was on. So I had to make sure we had heat in the house. And of course, food on the table. And then maintaining the necessities that my children needed. We had to make sure that they didn't feel what we were going through. So we had to make do. So it got to the point when we talk about that space, I'm like, okay, if I'm not here, we got $1 million insurance, you take care of the kids. And we start having all these crazy thoughts. And it was. And it took that sister friend in my corner to say, you're not doing that. So that's not an option. Suicide's not it. You better, we're going to work this thing out. And it took her just saying those 3 words, that's not an option, for me to say, okay, what is my why? So when we talk about weight loss and when we talk about fitness, you have to find out what your why is. Your why is not, I'm going to the Bahamas in May. Because that's why you're gaining back after May, right? By December, you back to, okay, I got to get in the bikini for the beach next year, May. So you wind up going on this roller coaster ride because you haven't came up with a solid why. So when I was going through my situation, I had to find out what my why was. My why was I didn't want another woman raising my children. So suicide was not the option. So I had to work some things out real fast. So I had to find out where my strength came from. My mom, I came from the inner city. I'm a product of Southeast DC. I had on my starter's coat. I can tell you off, and just like that, it wasn't nothing for me. I had something for you. But the main thing, I never knew how my mom did it, making $18,000 a year. I come from a substance abuse household where my dad was an alcoholic. Did not know how my mom was able to do it. My mom worked in DC public schools. During the summer, she did not work. Did not know how my mom did it. But then when I think back, entrepreneurship has always been in my blood because my mom was a candy lady during the summertime. I made sure I put some some bleach on there, got all the little droppings up the countertop. And then I made sure that when people came in there, you come up with a candy lady, I put the pickles in the bag, collected the money. But when I think back, you don't think about that. My mom ingrained me being an entrepreneur, so we made do with what we had. And then I always wondered how my mom did it. So when I went through my situation, I said, okay, God, I know how she did it. She was a survivor. She was a fighter. She did what she had to do for her family. So when I found out what my why was, that's why I want to be healthy. That's why I want to be cancer-free. That's why I want to be 90 years old, still looking like I'm 19. My why, you have to find out what your why is. So I'm going to give you 10 pointers. And I made it easy. I gave y'all a sheet. You didn't get one? No, it's with the sheet.
Did we get one?
I had to fire my husband, y'all.
That's your why.
But you want to have to recognize that it's time. That's point number one. You have to stop making excuses. When we talk to people and they give us all these excuses, I'm looking like, really? Really? For real? What is that benefit? And it don't benefit me at all. When you give me 1,000 excuses of why you're not working out, it has no effect on me at all. It's your body, your temple. It doesn't, okay, you can't come, you got a hair appointment. Okay, that's your body, your temple. Excuses doesn't benefit me at all, so I don't even know why we come up with the excuses. So that's point number one, recognize that it's time. Number two, ink out the time in your schedule. I truly believe if you write it with a pencil, you're going to erase as soon as you get a chance. I got to go get my hair done. Write it with a pen. Actually, make it a permanent marker so it doesn't, so you don't erase it and you can't do anything with it unless you try to get sophisticated and use some whiteout. But ink the time in for you. When we talk about the 180 minutes in a day, in a week, you can't give yourself 180 minutes to go for a stroll, a walk, hop on a treadmill, get into a gym, get personal training, do a Zumba class, whatever it may be. It's the best 180 minutes of that week that you have for yourself. Look at it as my me time. The other thing, you have to make sure that when you find out your why, you don't come up with excuses when we talk about that. Because I have 2 small children, when I wanted to work out, I had to find out on my job how I was going to make it happen. So I went and I talked to my supervisor. I'm like, look, can I come in earlier? No, I said, can I come in later so that I can go to the gym because I want to work out? It really worked out for me because I was able to drop my children off at child care at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to get them there a little bit early. I had to make it work. And then when I dropped them off at child care, I had no reason not to get to the gym. So I would go to the fitness facility where I work and I would work out. We had showers. And then I was ready for the rest of the day. So I found out how to make it work. It may require you to get up a little bit earlier. It may require you to leave work. However, whatever the reason is, you find a way to make it happen. We always find a way as women. We find a way. So see your doctor. Find out what your limitations are because you may have some issues that you may have to deal with, but don't use that as your crutch. Don't let diabetes have this arm and excuse have this arm and you're using it as your crutch. Remove the crutches away regardless of what your doctor may say, but find out real doctor, get down to the real deal. What is it that I can do? Don't let them discourage you either because they'll be the first to tell you what you can and what you can't do. I truly believe they make money off of all of the drugs they pump you with. It's just ironic when they say, Lubriderm, do this. I don't even know if that's a drug or not. Lubriderm helps you out with high blood pressure, but it causes skin rashes, it causes stomach aches, it causes you to vomit, it causes you to have to go to the bathroom 10 times a day, it causes you to limp, it causes you not to be able to sit still. Don't take this drug if you have to drive anywhere. Give it 5 hours to work, it may cause constipation, it may cause diarrhea. And you're like, what? It works on one thing and I've got 15 other things. So just be careful with those things when the doctor's pumping. Whenever they give me any type of drugs and medication, I'm very leery about it, even when it comes to giving it to my children. I try to be as holistic as possible whenever it comes to giving them things. Learn it. You don't go to a dermatologist if you have a problem with your feet, right? You don't go to the dentist if you got a problem with your stomach, right? So find the right professional to help you. If you have some issues, maybe a personal trainer, that's what we do. But find the person to help you with what it is you're dealing with. Because a lot of times we find answers in the wrong places. Well, I'm going to go talk to someone about fitness and they're not even working out. What are they going to tell me? Well, I'm going to ask somebody to support me when they're going to say, girl, why are you doing that? That's going to mess up my hair. I can't. So make sure you surround yourself with the right people. And when I'm talking about learning is surrounding yourself with the professions or the professionals to be able to help you. Clean out the kitchen. If the thing has about 50 letters in it, throw it out the pantry. If it got that word, it's you. And the only letter you know in the whole word is in, or you start finding 10 different words in the word, more than likely it's something that you don't need in your pantry. Just look at the label. Don't be afraid to look at the label. We think that it's hard and it's not. You can go on the internet and know how to look at the label. And what the FTC is doing right now with the label, they're making things bolder on the label now, and it's due to come out in the next few months so that it can highlight. You can see in big bold, like if it has 500 calories, it's going to say 500. So you can't even miss it. It's going to say 500 calories in big bold letters. So they're making the letters now and the numbers bigger so you'll be able to catch on to some of the key things. If it has a bunch of trans fat, saturated fat, if it got the word fat in it, be careful with the fat thing. Because more than likely, if the box have that, it has 5 servings and you just ate that whole box. Multiply the number of calories you see in the big letters and the numbers times 5, and that's what you just sat down and ate. So be careful with the label, and that's why I talk about clean out the kitchen. And you don't have to clean everything out the kitchen. Just do it in moderation, and enlist your family to help you out in doing it. And do it in phases. It don't have to be all at once. Something real simple, but maybe little changes go a long ways. And this is a support team. Get with other people that's going to help you to achieve your goal. Like I said, get with that person that you see want to do the same thing that you want to do. I was just looking at a YouTube video of the young lady, Ernestine. She's the oldest bodybuilder. I think she's 77 years old. And I was looking at her story and I was like, I want to show that tomorrow. She said age is nothing but a number. And the reason she got into bodybuilding, it was something that her sister had wanted her to do. And her sister wanted them to go down in the Guinness Book of World Record as the oldest bodybuilders. But her sister had a problem and her sister wound up dying. And what happened, she fell into depression, all kind of different health issues. And then she said her sister came to her about a month or so later and told her, you need to get up and do something. And it was just that moment when her sister came to her, that's when she said it still took her about another 2 or 3 weeks before she did anything. But she got up, she did it, and she said that was no longer her focus. But when she won, the Guinness Book of World Records called it, not through her reaching out to Guinness and saying, hey, I just won. But they contacted her. But what I'm just stating is surround yourself with that support team. And it was her sister that came to her and said, hey, let's do this together. So find a person that's to say, hey, let's do this together. All right, let's go get our stuff. And that'll be your person for accountability. There's nothing wrong with having a battle buddy. In the military, we have them all the time. You don't go nowhere without a battle buddy, right?
That's right.
Your battle buddy holds you what? Accountable. When you're supposed to be at child, they make sure you wear at child. If you're supposed to be in a class, what do? They make sure you, if you're supposed to be up 2 o'clock in the morning because you're going to the gas chamber, what do your battle buddy do? Make sure when you throw up after coming out the gas chamber, what do your battle buddy do? They try to rip around the tree. But enlist a battle buddy, but not a battle buddy like the military, but you're a fitness buddy. Someone that's going to hold you accountable. Get a battle buddy. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't waver. That goes back to the excuses. Don't waver on why you can't do it. Why, I got my hair done today, I got my nails done. We had a boot camp this morning. We have them at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was talking to one other young lady, probably in her 50s or so. I said, where's your buddy? She said she gets her hair done on Friday. She didn't want to mess up her hair today. I said, why didn't she get her hair done after the boot camp? Why she go get her hair done on Friday, knowing that you got a boot camp Saturday morning? So still nothing for me to do Zumba. I went and got my hair done at another event I went to a Zumba-thon, 2 hours of Zumba, got my hair done. They said, you want a Zumba and you just got your hair done? Yes, I'm about to go and rock it for 2 hours. I don't use it as my excuse. It looks nice, but I look nice on my Zumba. Be consistent and don't give up. Don't give up. Be consistent. In our facility, when we first opened, we had a lady that was 300 plus pounds, and she got off the treadmill, and I said, what's wrong? She said, I can't do it. I said, why not? She said, I was trying to do 5 minutes on a treadmill, and I'm only able to do 1 minute. And I said, how many did you do when you came yesterday? She said, I did about 1.5 minutes. I said, well, why in the world are you trying to do 5 minutes a day? I mean, it's only 24 hours ago. Build up. And I think that that's what leads to us being discouraged, because you come up with all of these wondrous things that you want to do. When you get to the gym, you go there and do the same daggone thing every single time. You think you're going to come out there looking like the next Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out of the gym. That's when I talk about building that support, getting professional education about what it is that you need to do. And if you don't know it, then go to someone who knows it, a professional, not the dermatologist and you want to lose weight, not the dermatologist, not the good doctor and you want to lose weight. Go to the person that's in that profession. Chart your progress. And that goes back to the previous one that I stated. If you did 1 minute, maybe you do 1.5 minutes next time, or 1 minute and 15 minutes. Come up with SMART goals. Make sure that they're simple, measurable, realistic goals. Don't come up with these goals that, you know, I like seeing a wazoo. My children was looking at over the hinge and they just stick it when you talk about the wazoo. But make sure you come up with SMART goals. Don't come up with these goals that's over the top. And that's why when people be talking about, you did your resolutions? Yeah, you did your resolutions. I'm like, what resolutions? Resolutions resolve to nothing. Come up with goals. Come up with SMART goals. All these resolutions at the beginning of the year, like Sherelle was talking about, a vision board. Whenever we present our program that we got called Devoted to Be Healthy, the first thing that they do in the 8-week program is do a vision board. Because if your goal is to be healthy, you want to see it on a board. And you want to do the things that you have to do to be healthy. And that entails what? Exercising, watching what you're eating, and doing some things to get you to that point. So when you come up with your why, that's when you're going to have that vision board, and that vision board is going to put that why in front of you and your goals in front of you every single day. And you don't do the vision board and put it in the closet. There's no reason for you to do it. It's called vision board, so you can see it all the time, right? It's visual. So make sure you put it somewhere where you can see it all the time. And then when you look at that board that one day, you'll see the things on there that you have on that board that you didn't even realize that you was working towards. And then number 10, love yourself. Love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not doing it for this, you're not doing it for the bikini, you're not doing it for the Bahamas trip, you're not doing it for this and that and that and that. You're doing it because you love yourself. When we talk about our body being a temple, that is your why. That's why you're doing it. So when you come up with your why, it entails you loving yourself and not abusing yourself. I've seen people invest so much money into vehicles and things of that nature. You see them out there polishing it. Don't let you eat in it. They make sure they will, when they get the new Mercedes-Benz in 2015, they park it at the end of the lot this time because they don't want nobody to ding it. They keep it nice and clean and get it detailed all the time. But what about your body? Why do you keep up and maintain all of these external things, but you don't maintain the one thing that you're going to have for the rest of your life? The car means nothing if I'm broken down and disgusted and full of diseases. The car means nothing. I can't drive the car. The car is not nice and shiny and curly and you looking like something from you don't know what. Take care of yourself so when you're walking out there, you look just as marvelous as the car. Yeah, that's my car, and you look marvelous just like the car looks marvelous. And then when we get into wellness, I have to, if you look at the bottom of the page, you have the circle there. Wellness is not always physical. A lot of times when we talk about being well, we always think it's pumping iron. No, as we hear today, it's very components to wellness. You have spiritual. Spiritual is, when we talk about it, meditating, being at one with yourself, that divinity or that divine moment that you have in your relationship with Christ. That's when we talk about the spiritual well-being. So that's the first part of our will. Intellectual, stimulating the mind. We have someone that went back and got their master's. Reading as much as you can, whatever your profession is, whatever you're interested in, read. That's how you become educated and you're stimulating the mind. Do some crossword puzzles. It's nothing for me to put things in the car for my children to do. Keep the mind stimulated so it doesn't go stagnant. Emotional. Emotional is dealing with all of those things that causes us to do the things that we don't know why we do it. If someone step on your toe, you don't know why you're cursing them out at the drop of a hat. Some of the things we have to go back to our past to find out why we react the way that we react. So it's going to cause you to go under that iceberg to find out what in the heck has went on to cause you to be the person that you are today. And it's going to cause you to forgive. I really love a lot of the things that I hear. We always think that forgiving, we letting the person off the hook. Forgiving has to do with you. It's not saying that you're not remembering or letting someone walk free and giving them a free pass. It has to do with you. Not saying that you're going to forget, but it's allowing you to release that stuff so that you can become whole on the inside. And then we deal with the physical, of course, exercising and moving. That's when I get into the 180 minutes. But the 180 minutes you give yourself throughout the week, it don't always have to be all physical. It can be going for a nice walk. When you exercise, it releases endorphins that causes you to relax. And it's almost like you're released in the army to deal with the stress and stuff that your body's going through. A lot of times when you're dealing with different issues in your life and you become tense and you don't realize why your neck is so tight, when you exercise, it allows your body to fight those things that's going on because you're always in a fight or flight situation whenever you're stressed, and the endorphins is always going and you don't know why you're so jittery and jumpy. So find ways to relax, and exercising and those nice little walks and things of that nature is beneficial. Social, the other part of the will, that's what we surround ourselves with. It doesn't matter if you're whole and you surround yourself with chickens. You're flying like an eagle and you got chickens down here you're trying to walk with. You're supposed to be flying and you walking down here like you're a chicken. Surround yourself with other eagles.
That's right.
You take flight with other eagles, right? Don't walk around with chickens. You're supposed to be flying and you walking around here quack, duck. Make sure that you surround yourself with like-minded people. As being a business owner, you get the opportunity to surround yourself with like-minded people. And it's so amazing when I look at the business owner circle, as African American, how small that circle is when it comes to everyone supporting one another and encouraging one another. And then the other one is environmental. That's being aware of your surroundings, being at one with what's going on in your surroundings. And occupational, hobbies and jobs and things of that nature. That's the other will. And then when you put all of these together and they connect, then you have wellness. And wellness isn't just physical. So when we talk about physical well-being, it's only one portion of that will. If you're broke down and disgusted in your occupation, intellectual, emotional, and social, the wheel is still going to be almost like, like when you have to when you got a flat tire, the car's still going to be a rough ride because you still got a piece of this puzzle that's not complete and not whole. So when we talk about wellness, it's a wheel, and it's several components that goes along with that. So thank you so much for your time. That's it. Find out your why. I had to find that out because I had suicidal thoughts, and I had to find out your why. And when I talk about this isn't something that happened to me 5 years ago, 10 years. This is like over the course of 16 months to a year. This is something that's recent. And I had to say, okay, Satan, get behind me. I'm about to do what I got to do and take care of me mentally. And when I talk about this mental thing, and I know I'm deviating, it's a serious thing because Satan, that's the one tool that he had to play with, is your mind. And I was listening to the radio, and I'm going to wrap it up, on the Yolanda Adams morning show. And you know how they have the pastors and stuff, and the guy said Satan is a bee. And the bee, when Christ died on the cross, he took it and he stuck his stinger in Christ's flesh. And when the bee leaves, he leaves that stinger right there. He left his sting in Christ because Christ died on the cross for our sins. So the devil don't have no other weapon because the stinger is gone, right?
Right.
But he can manipulate your mind to have you think wherever he want you to think. Any kind, you take a little bit of stuff and manipulate, play with your mind and have you thinking that the sky is blue and you can clearly say it's a beautiful day outside. But he have you thinking otherwise because that's the one weapon he has, and that's your mind. So just be careful about what it is that you're thinking, the things that you're looking at, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the places that you're going. All of that plays a role in that. So thank you so much.